Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to BWTM Sports. Again, if you've subscribed to the channel, thank you so much. Just make sure that you have hit that notification bell and ensure all notifications. Thank you for watching and enjoy the show. So here we have it. Story breaks on in the news that Ben Davison and Tyson Fury have split. Let's get into this. So Fury is split from, or rumored to have, or allegedly. I say these things because look, any split, particularly this time of year, is not particularly nice. But any split is never a nice thing, or most times. And in the world of boxing, there are lots of splits with trainers and fighters. So this is nothing new. Um, I will say this much: I'm not particular. I don't really care about this situation, if I'm brutally honest with you. So that's why it's going to seem a bit not harsh, but a bit short for those of you who wanted to hear my opinion on this. And those of you that know me will know that I probably could find out more information if I really wanted to, but I don't really care. So this is just my opinion on this whole situation, and I've titled it "Final Thoughts." Why? Because I don't really want to talk about it again, and not because I'm upset or I'm devastated. It's just I've got better things to talk about in life, and people like to sensationalize situations like this between fighter and trainer and put their two pence piece in and all that sort of stuff. And basically, I'm just a guy on the outside looking in. So I'm a guy on the outside looking in who probably could look in a little further and probably find out more details. But I'm not going to do that because, frankly, I don't care for the situation. But in terms of for our listeners or our viewers and those who tune into the channel, of course, I have to say something. So I will say something because often when I speak on this channel, for the most part, when I speak on subjects, not so much boxing predictions, that's a little different because there are a lot of variables for that. Sometimes you get it right, sometimes you get it wrong. Sizes of rings and condition of fighters getting into the ring and fighters deciding not to fight. Those things I can't control. But situations like this, human nature and interaction with people, personalities, day to day life, business dealings, and for what you know of people over the years, this is of no surprise. Now, let me take you all back, way, way, way back. When it was first broken, the story was first broken on BWTM. When we talked about it, I think it was around Christmas time. Actually, it was around this time when Tyson split with Peter. Around this time of the year, if I'm correct, I could be wrong, but it was around this time we started hearing the rumors of Tyson Fury training with new trainer Ben Davison, and a lot of people caused a lot of uproar about it. Who's this guy Ben Davison? And what we knew of Ben Davison at the time, he had trained Billy Joe Saunders, against that guy Wolverine in the Leisure Centre, and of course Billy Joe didn't look good that night, and people reflected Ben Davison from that. Look, I don't know Ben Davison, but any man that has stood by, if the stories are true, again, I'm only going by the stories which I've heard in the media, but of course what other people have said about Ben Davison. If the stories are true, and it's and what we've been led to believe that Ben Davison stood by Tyson Fury through all these difficult times and was there by his side and supported Tyson when he was low, then Ben Davison's a good guy, because I know a lot of trainers wouldn't do that, and but he was invested, and so therefore Ben Davison and I'm going by the line that we all seem to have been told through the media, then Ben Davison's a cool dude, and he seemed to have been a decent enough trainer to have got Tyson from the shape he was in to the shape that he is in. How much influence Ben Davison had in camp with Tyson Fury is another question altogether. It's another point altogether. How much tactical knowledge Ben Davison put into Tyson, I don't know. Because here's where I see it. Strategically, Tyson he doesn't look any better than when he fought against Klitschko. Personal opinion. And I've said this before. I haven't seen anything different in what Tyson did against Klitschko to what he's done under Ben Davison. He lost weight, yep. He seems happy in camp, yep. We all can look great for the camera. I'm not saying he wasn't happy under Ben. I'm just saying that media can paint pictures that are not always the truth or how we see it to be. And by the way, people who are commenting in the comment section, I will read your comments afterwards, but I want to be flowing. That's why I'm not reading any comments at the moment, but I will come back to you. We see things in the media and we say, oh, that has to be the truth. Well, having worked in the media for so long now, I can tell you that 50% of it is BS. From when people are on the pads doing their workouts to for public shows or things that people say in the media. I've seen people say things in the media and quite contraries happening behind the scenes. Fighters taking fights, saying that they're up for it and they want to take the fight. Really and truly behind the scenes, they've been forced into the fight because if they don't take that fight, they're not going to continue with the promotional deal and all sorts of stuff like that. So, for the most part, BS. A lot of it is. From what I see, Ben and Tyson seem to have a connection there. But mind you, Tyson and Mick Hennessy had a good connection. If you remember when he was first on our channel, talked about loyalty and talked about how, all these fighters left Mick Hennessy, Frotch and Gale and all these people. Well, Tyson went and did the same thing as well. I just think that, if you're a person that's ambitious, which obviously Tyson must be, or, he's going to do what he needs to do to get to the next level. Okay, so if you look at it from that mindset and he's doing business and he's trying to get the best out of his career, fine, fair enough. Most arguments most breakups in boxing between trainer and fighter usually comes over money. That's one of the main things. Split becomes over money. Look, I don't know what's going on between Tyson and Ben. I'm just giving you my opinion, my insight, and I'm not here to try and cause trouble or to stir things up between the two of them, or that's not my objective. It's just what I'm seeing, right? So money can be the reason. Sometimes a split can come because there are external forces that can come to play. Now, if you remember rightly, I'm sure I did say in the video that I believed back then, and I have to go back and listen to the video, but I'm sure when I first heard this Ben Davison Tyson Fury connection, I felt it was going to be temporary, and I thought he was actually going to go down to Dominic Ingle. And then when I saw Billy Joe Saunders flitting down to Dominic Ingle's gym, and then he was going elsewhere, and I thought, Tyson would follow Billy Joe Saunders. But for the most part, Tyson stuck with Ben Davison. Here's the thing for me. There was a story that came out less than a month ago about Ben Davison and Tyson Fury. And whoever the gentleman was that did the video, he basically said that Ben Davison had split with Tyson Fury. That was about a month ago. And I called Asgar onto the show, as you know, and we spoke about it. He said, no, I can confirm that, Ben's going to be, he's still with Tyson, and Ben's out there in America, and he's covering the Wilder fight. Well, this is what he said. So, from that point, things were okay. Yesterday, I'm on the train in London, and I'm traveling. So I'm traveling from Uxbridge across to Highgate, and I discover this story comes out again. I'm talking to some random dude, not random dude, one of the dudes that was on the course with me, and I find out that hey, he just said, "Oh, Tyson Fury, he's split with his trainer Ben Davison." I'm like, well, that's of no surprise. That's of absolute no surprise. And here's the thing. Few things, just from my observation now, why the split would be puzzling for me. Because if it's because you don't rate that Ben Davison as a trainer, well, how long did it take for you to work it out? If you don't rate him as a trainer, if you don't value him as a trainer, if this is the argument, I'm not saying this is the argument, but if this is the argument, then so how many fights did you have to work that out? So you had the Pianetta fight, the Safa Safari fight, um, the Wilder fight, the Wallin fight, and the Swartz fight. That's 5 fights. By that time, trainer and fighter should have made a bond and should have some structure as to how they go about trainer and fighter going about how when to come into camp, diet, food, sleeping patterns, fighters kind of like rhythm when he's in the gym, mental setup, how a fighter will be in the gym, his mental approach to fights. Does he get agitated before fights? Is he cool before fights? Does he have a poker face? Does he get emotional? All these sort of things a trainer will, and a fighter, after 5 fights, I would think you would get an understanding of what it's about. Of course, the Deontay Wilder fight where Tyson getting knocked down twice, and we saw the clip with Ben Davison, how concerned he was. We had the situation with the Freddie Roach speaking about Ben Davison. We also had John Fury at one point talking about the mess that Tyson Fury and the camp, and how he felt that maybe it was time for Tyson to go to change things in the camp. And there were other stories I heard flying around. Don't know how true they were, but Tyson wasn't. The people around Tyson weren't particularly happy with how that Wilder fight, and it didn't look good when Tyson was on the canvas. They weren't too pleased about that. The second knockdown I'm talking about. Again, that's more speculation. I don't know how true that is. But what I damn well do know is this. With that, if you look at the situation with Tyson and his earnings, you would think that the trainer should get rewarded for the amount of effort he has put into a fighter's career. I don't know, but if Tyson now is going to go into this mega fight with Wilder in a rematch, clearly the trainer should be getting more money. Why? Because he's stuck by you for the last 5 fights, and he's stuck by you when you were, nobody gave you half a chance. That trainer was there and stuck by you, stuck by your side. If that's what the story you're telling us is true. So if the trainer were to say, look, hey, you're going to give me some more money. I need more money, man, because, hey, look, I've been there for you. Can I get a little bit more money, a little bit more money for what I've been doing and standing by your side? If it's a financial situation, I could see that from Ben Davison's point of view. Again, speculation. Don't know if it's true. It's just speculation. Tyson may turn and say, look, you know what? This is what you're getting. This is what I'm paying you. And it ain't going to be no more than that. Simple as. And he's like, says, well, you know what? That's not cool. I think I deserve more. You mean all this time I've been with you and you're going to pay me this amount of money? And that's what you think of me? So that's how a potential split could happen between trainer and fighter. Most situations between trainer and fighters, the splits happen because of money. Abel Sanchez and Gennady Golovkin, it's definitely down to money. Abel Sanchez was the hype man behind Golovkin. Have you noticed how Golovkin, since Abel Sanchez has left him or they've split, nobody really talks about Golovkin in the same way. There's not that same sort of passion about Golovkin because Abel Sanchez was the hype man. So Golovkin's got Tom Loeffler with him still. Nobody gives a damn about Golovkin now, not really. Not with the same. Abel Sanchez was he was the hype machine. He was the guy that was telling us the stories about Golovkin, how he punched harder than Gasayev and he was knocking out heavyweights, and he was building the story about Golovkin. So people were interested in that. Now Abel Sanchez is not hyping Golovkin. It's different. Plus the fights with with Canelo. You've got to also remember those fights with Canelo. Sanchez said a lot of things. Controversial Sanchez is, he drew attention. As for the situation back to Ben Davison and Tyson Fury, I can imagine John Fury talking to Tyson saying, Tyson, listen, get as much money as you can out of this sport and get the hell out of this sport with as much money as you can with your brains intact. I can imagine that conversation going on. Now you got the Wilder fight coming up. You need to be in the best possible shape for Wilder. And you know, that guy can crack. But if you can box, and box for 12 rounds, smart, not get caught by Wilder, you're okay. But with his setup, it ain't going to happen. If Pops has come in and said that, Pops knows boxing. If he comes in and says, listen, this ain't working, Tyson's here, and Tyson says, well, this ain't working, this camp ain't for me, then I need to make changes. So, and changes can come for a number of reasons. You're not happy within camp. You don't think that the trainer's good enough to take you to that next level. 3, the financial situation, aspects of it. 4, I've covered 3, 4, external forces that are saying you need to shift. 5, previous performances. And while Fury fanboys will turn around and say that he looked utterly amazing against Otto Walling, to me, there were warning signs against Otto Walling. The cut, when a fighter starts getting cut in his career, after he's been taking off weight and putting weight on and taking weight off and putting weight on, that's a sign for me is when a fighter's career is on the downside. When you start getting cut like that, you've seen it, some of these fighters like Hatton, they don't normally get cut, suddenly they start getting cuts. That's a sign where the skinners keep, you are losing weight and putting weight on, losing weight and putting weight on. That's where the skin's elasticity becomes thin, and the skin becomes thin because you're losing and gaining weight. And then when you're getting cut now, the skin hasn't got the same sort of protection to it, and that's why you get cut easy. When you start getting cut like that in your career, there's no going back on that. There's no going back on it. You're going to be liable to getting cut for the rest of your career. And this is what happens with guys up and down in your career. Now, for me, I think Tyson's career is on. It's not going. I don't think Tyson gets any better. I think you maintain, or you're going down, in decline. I don't think Tyson gets any better. I think what we've got of Tyson now is the best you're going to get of Tyson Fury. You may be able to polish things up in some areas, but Tyson Fury, his mindset, how he boxes and how he thinks, that's who Tyson Fury is. I don't expect him now to come out and try and fight like Mike Tyson. I don't expect him now to foot like a butterfly and sting like a bee like Muhammad Ali. I don't expect those things. Nor do I expect him to fight like Klitschko. That Mike Tyson Fury is what he is now, right? So you now decide. You decide now that it's good to leave Ben Davison and you're going to Sugar Hill. Okay. So you're going to the Crunk Gym with Sugar Hill. All right. Well, so you think that's going to save you. So you're going to go to Sugar Hill. Clearly, you know that there needs to be some sort of adjustment necessary. Well, why don't you go to Freddie Roach's gym? Why don't you get the great Freddie Roach to train you? Tyson's a smart man in terms of boxing and knowing the sport of boxing. Don't let his behavior of some of the clown things he does. Tyson's a very astute guy, very astute, very smart, very, very smart guy. And I think Ben Davidson's smart as well. Very astute guy, Tyson. And I think that him going to Sugar Hill, there must have been some reason why he's gone to Sugar Hill. And maybe he's trying to pick up from the whole, Emmanuel Stewart training him and going back to basics, or trying to work from that mindset. And that's why he's gone to Sugar Hill. I do wonder if James Ali Bashir wasn't injured, would Tyson Fury have gone to James Ali Bashir? Because truly, there's nothing that Sugar Hill can teach Tyson Fury that James Ali Bashir don't know in the back of his hand. Not even the front of his hand, the back of his hand. The stuff that Sugar Hill knows, James Ali Bashir could write on a postcard and send on a stamp. And that's not disrespectful to Sugar Hill. You've got to remember, Sugar Hill was the nephew of Emmanuel Stewart. And you've got to remember, Emmanuel Stewart's right-hand man was James Ali Bashir. So, you're a nephew. A nephew. Right? So for me, it seems that Tyson is going to the Crunk Gym, or working with that mindset and training mindset, because that's what he thinks is best for him to go forward and fight Wilder. Let's be honest. I mean, you're going to Sugar Hill to basically get bloody Emmanuel Stewart's guidance in the form of his nephew. That's what it is. And he didn't go to Jonathan Banks, interestingly enough. He didn't go to Jonathan Banks. I think Banks is with the Klitschko's, or is K2 promotions. I think he's with K2 Promotions and Tom Loeffler. So I think that probably may not have been an option. So he's gone to Sugar Hill. My thoughts? Well, Sugar Hill is not going to give, is not going to protect, is not a chin protector. All right, Sugar Hill's not a chin protector, and he's not a magician, right? What Sugar Hill can do between now and February, well, he'll have to be a magician, because unless Tyson Fury and Sugar Hill have worked together outside of Ben Davison's knowledge. Now, here's another thing. How long has Sugar Hill and Tyson Fury been working together? And was that a reason as well as to why the split is? Has Tyson been working with Sugar Hill longer than we know? Which fighters shop around. You don't just say, I'm just going to go to Sugar Hill and get him to train me. There must have been some point of shopping around to find out which trainers were around. And Tyson went to Sugar Hill. So how long was he with Sugar Hill? Was that the reason why Ben and Tyson split? Because he went off, and it wasn't a financial thing, but really it was the fact that he went off with Sugar Hill. I don't know. But these are things you have to take into consideration here. Okay? So, yeah, okay, he goes to Sugar Hill. All right, fine. Right, so how does that work out now? You now have to, you've been working with Ben Davison for 5 fights. You're now going to Sugar Hill. So Sugar Hill's going to get you a different way of fighting. In previous interviews, I think I've heard of Sugar Hill talking about being aggressive and taking a fight to opponents. Well, listen, if Tyson goes out of an aggressive approach against Wilder, he will get knocked out. He's got to be very careful with the approach he takes in this fight against Wilder, right? Because he didn't look great against Otto Wallin. He was getting hit way too often against Otto Wallin, and the amount of opportunities he gave Otto Wallin, you cannot give Deontay Wilder. And remember, Otto Wallin buckled the legs of Tyson Fury in that last fight. He buckled his legs in that 12th round. And if Otto Wallin is buckling your legs in the 12th round, that does not bode well against a guy that's dropped you already and made you hit the canvas. And for all those people who said, oh, well, he got up in the 12th round, that's the 12th round. All right, he got up in the 12th round, and you got the Jack Grease protection plan there. Tyson's going to need that Jack Grease protection plan if he hits the canvas again. Okay, so my thoughts on this is, okay, the Jack Grease thing's a joke. More seriously, their strategy has got to be on point, but it's a very dangerous fight to be going in with Sugar Hill unless you've spent a lot of time knowing one another, and you spent a lot of time with Ben Davison. If you really felt that way, then why the Otto Wallin fight for you to discover there's a problem? A split from the Otto Wallin fight. Why did you split after the Deontay Wilder fight? It was cheaper to keep Ben Davison on. I don't know. But so these are all my thoughts. Where does Ben Davison go from here? Listen, I think Ben Davison is a young trainer. If he's as knowledgeable as I've been informed he is, I believe this is a great opportunity for Ben Davison to start 2020 with a new fighter that he can invest time in. And, it's heartbreaking for a trainer. Then you've put so much time and effort into a fighter, and then this happens. So I just wish Ben Davison the best. And I understand how this sport can be, where you invest in a fighter and then he decides to leave you. I do think that there needs to be more protection for trainers. I wish him the best. I hope the exposure with him being with Tyson Fury gives him great exposure to get a fighter that he can work with and build, and good fighters he can work with after this. It's not easy being a boxing trainer, and often many trainers are taken advantage of. The fighter gets to call the shots and gets paid X amount of money, and many trainers don't get paid the sort of money the fighters get paid. And it's the trainers that spend the time with the fighter, and they often don't get to see the money they should see. So, I wish Ben all the best. I hope he capitalizes on this opportunity. Obviously, being Tyson Fury's trainer for 5 fights, and going through that whole thing with Tyson, I think it puts him in the window for opportunities with other fighters in the future. It will be interesting to see Ben working with other fighters that are, I won't say disciplined, but other fighters with different mindsets. I'd like to see how he works with them in the future. I think Ben Davison's got a good future ahead of him. I wish him well, and I will just say to him, if I ever saw him, good on you, son. As for Tyson Fury, um, he's seen the opportunity to move on. He thinks Sugar Hill's the way forward, and good luck to him too with that. Is Tyson Fury going to finally move his way back to his uncle? I don't know. It's not my business. But this is the final thoughts on the issue. I'm not going to do any more videos on Tyson Fury and his split with trainer, or not interested. All I pray for is Tyson Fury gets out the Wilder fight safe and well, and you know, because this is not no WWE stuff, right? This is no WWE stuff, and the fans can talk all they want. They're not getting hit in the chin, right? They've got to get their tactics spot on, because as you've seen with the Lewis Ortiz fight, you can be ahead in a fight, you can be boxing smart, and one shot. And I'm telling you all now, like I told you for the Lewis Ortiz fight, it will take just one on Tyson Fury. Just one. Oh, but he got up the last time. Yeah, Lewis Ortiz got up the last time for the second. Got up twice in the first fight. Just a reminder. Lewis Ortiz got up twice in the first fight. Yeah? Well, this time, Wilder connects. I'm not sure if Tyson's going to be fortunate enough to get away with the Undertaker thing this time round. I think that this rematch will be definitive, because I don't believe that Tyson has improved, and I don't think the opposition since Wilder has been as such for him to improve. I think he should have carried on fighting big guys with long arms and prepared himself for the Wilder rematch. Wilder, I believe, can improve on his performance, because I think he'll come in heavier for the fight. I think he will come in full of confidence, having blown away Brazil and blown away and knocked out Ortiz. Two good guys. Ortiz being 6'4", and Brazil being a little taller. I think those are two good guys in terms of preparation and target practice for Fury, who does fight orthodox and does fight southpaw. So have that as well in your back of your brain when you're thinking about Fury Wilder, how they match up and what they've done with previous fights. And I will say this, Ortiz is a bigger puncher than Fury. So, you know, I believe anyone who's going to beat Wilder is going to be a guy who can punch and can hurt him. I don't believe a guy who can't punch or doesn't punch hard enough is going to beat Wilder. It's got to be a guy that he's going to respect and can hurt him coming in. Those are my thoughts on that. It's my final thoughts on this particular situation. If I am going to talk about Tyson Fury in any sort of degree again, it will be about Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder. Now, let me see what you've been talking about on this channel. Let's see what people are saying. Let's bring people in. Good evening, Reese Mason. And DOG Fury has doubts. Kenny Gaming, the man who is so high on loyalty now leaves Peter Fury and Mick Hennessy, and now leaves Ben. Full on hypocrite. Ben Davison confirmed it on his Twitter. Says Mark, the change will do him good. Fresh approach. Really? Okay. Stay away from Sugar Hill. Away to Sugar Hill, I hear. Yes, says Tosh Bear. Fury has not reached again the reactions, shape, or boxing skills showed against Klitschko. Davison got him fit, but he has not done anything to advance his boxing skills. I agree. I've said it. And Mark, I have to agree with you there. A retro for life. Boxing says salute Ingram. Salute you, brother. John Fury spent more time around Tyson, apparently, and he's made it clear he wasn't happy with Davison. Yes, did say that. And I said I can imagine John saying two things. The first thing I can imagine John saying is, you know what, get as much money you can with this sport and get out the sport with your brains intact. And the second thing is, if you're going to do that, for heaven's sake, get a better trainer. Those are the two things I can imagine John Fury saying. Salute to Ingram in the chat. Salute to you, Denise Wards. Got Denise Williams on my mind. Denise Wards. While they're still going to knock his ass out, says Denise Wards. Benzi, you already had Freddie Roach in his corner team once. Maybe he wasn't impressed. Yes, interesting, Ben. But it was under or with Ben Davidson. So, you know, Freddie Roach, if that was the case, you would have left after the Wilder fight, right? If that was the case, you would have left after the Wilder fight. So, yeah. Chris says, I think swapping trainer gives him an edge over Wilder. This could be mind games. He's a chess player. This could be an elite move, or I'm talking rubbish. No, it's not an elite move. How can it be an elite move? Um, what is Sugar Hill going to give Tyson Fury in what, a month and a half? I don't buy that. I think it's going to be just Fury doing what Fury does. Only one Emmanuel Stewart and only one James Ali Bashir. If he went to Ali Bashir, I'd get that because Ali Bashir has got the experience. Sugar Hill is learning. Ali Bashir has that experience because he was with Emmanuel Stewart and did his own thing as well. Difference. And Sugar Hill was working with Adonis Stevenson. And remember, Adonis Stevenson has got one punch knockout power. Let's remember that. Southpaw. How much can a new trainer only do in 3 months? Says Grandmaster. I agree with you. Sugar Hill did a fantastic job with Martin. Improved a lot, says Karanaski. I thought Martin was done after Joshua. Big up Sugar Hill. Well, Charles Martin, let's talk about that for a second. Listen, I'm not doubting Sugar Hill. He's a good trainer, and he has got the experience, obviously being the nephew of Emmanuel Stewart. But Sugar Hill is not Emmanuel Stewart. I will also say that Martin came to the arena to fight Joshua with pot noodle in his hand. Okay, so we know the title's bought. So I really don't know how you can really judge Martin based on his performance against Joshua as any markup point. So anyway, Fury has a lot of untapped potential, a lot to learn. He simply doesn't fight. Fury can improve a lot. Wilder's 34. If Wilder wins, he must be better. Okay, says George. GB Boxing says, I suppose we'll see how good of a trainer Ben is. He still trains Isaac Lowe. If he can get Lowe to a title shot and win, I think this helps his credibility. Really? I don't know how much that... I don't know. I don't know. I don't know about that. I'd like to see Ben Davison work with some different type of fighters. Meaning, people say specifically, I'd like to see Ben Davison work with guys like... I'd like to see Ben Davison work with someone like Callum Smith. I keep talking about Callum Smith because I told you, if I became a boxing manager, he'd be the first guy I'd be signing. Callum Smith. I'd like to see what he'd do with like someone like Hosea Burton. I'd like to see how he'd do something with... let me think. I'd like to see how he'd do with Dave Allen. I'd like to see how he'd do with... That's the 3 fighters that come off my head. I'd like to see Ben Davison, how he'd do with Amir Khan. I'd like to see how Ben Davison would do with Kell Brook. I'd like to see what he would do and how he could do with those guys. You know? For me, Ben is a terrible trainer, and Fury saw him as a mere puppet. The Sugar Hill guy sounds great. Now, I did talk about the Ben Davison thing, and my only concern with Ben Davison when Tyson Fury first brought him into camp was that it was the Tyson Fury show with Ben Davison in small letters. I don't know how much that relationship was master slave. I don't know how much that was, or it was on par. I don't know. I really don't know. But I don't believe he can go to Sugar Hill and do that. I said if Otto had a tank, he could have put Fury down and possibly stopped him, says Retros. Okay. It always seems the dynamic was that Tyson was the boss and Ben was the employee. Though one did do a decent job under the circumstances. Yes. It's clear someone was in Fury's ear. Maybe his pops, since they got history. But I don't think that trainer is going to benefit Fury in a couple of months. Yes, I agree with you there, Retro. Absolutely, Ben was a puppet for Fury. Even if it wasn't Ben, is improving. The Ray guy is part of the Crunk lineage. He might not be Bashir, but he's better than Ben. Okay. I don't know if that's fair. I really don't know if that's a fair comment, because you're talking to Sugar Hill. How long has Sugar Hill been training professional fighters? And then where's Ben Davison come from? I think it's unfair to say he's a better trainer. I think what you'd have to do is see Tyson Fury working with... what you'd have to see, really, to be honest, if you're going to be brutal honest about this, would Sugar Hill have been able to bring Tyson Fury back from where he was to where Tyson Fury is in world boxing today? Now remember, Tyson's doing the WWE stuff now and all that stuff. If Wilder knocked his ass out in the first fight, he wouldn't be doing no WWE now. So you've got to give Ben Davison the credit to have got him from where he was, Tyson Fury, overweight, guy to being, close to becoming heavyweight champion of the world, if not the heavyweight champion of the world, for those of you who think he beat Wilder. So you got to give Ben some credit in that, if we're going to believe the stories that Ben and Tyson have told us. No way out for Fury, says DLG215. No easy way out for Wilder. Next time, Wilder's 34 and a half. Yeah, and he's getting better. He's getting better. That's the thing you're not picking up there. And by the way, if you didn't already know about heavyweight boxing, heavyweight boxers mature later. It's not like the welterweights. People are taking the mindset of a welterweight boxer into heavyweight boxing. It doesn't work like that. Heavyweight boxers can get better as they get older. Welterweight and lighter weight boxers, for some reason, as they get older, they get worse. Seen a lot of guys now in lower weight divisions who've got good records. As they're getting older, they're getting knocked out and stopped. We saw my good friend Richard Comey get knocked out the other night. I wonder if Richard Comey was struggling at the weight. I really do. And as you get older, these things happen. Let's see. GB Boxer says, if I remember in the Fury Wilder behind the scenes, Fury joked to Ben in Marabella when he was like 30 stone and he was going to lose the weight and get back to the top together. Ben's well-known man now. Yeah, I know. Wilder had him hurt in the 12th and Fury battered Wilder round 12. Hey, forget that fight's done now. Stop dreaming. That fight's done. It's over. This is the rematch. And you can't be taking that fight into the rematch. Since then, Wilder has knocked out Dominic Brazil and knocked out Ortiz coming in. Fury's coming off the back of Otto Wallin and Tom Schwartz. And for all intended purposes, and in Fury's words, they're bums. All right? Let's put things as they are in Fury world. They're bums. And he got knocked over by a basketball bum that's a dosser. A dosser dropped him twice and almost knocked him out, in his terms, in his words. So let's put things in their proper place. Let's go here. Wilder by KO this time would be the perfect birthday present, providing a fight is in February. Fury's last two fights have been rangy guys, though, right? Really? Otto Wallin and flipping, they're hardly technical. They're hardly got punching power, have they? To pair them. Fury's definitely ain't coming back to the UK. He's an American now. Yeah. It's funny how they say the Yanks ain't good, but happy when Fury gets Yankee trailers. Yep, that's how it works. Fury basically beat him last time. This could be by KO. No, I don't think so. I don't think Fury KOs Wilder in the rematch, unless he holds his feet. But you saw him hold his feet in the 12th round, and he couldn't move Wilder. Roach wants his fighters super aggressive, not Fury style, while Roach likes to get his fighters knocked out. I think he enjoys it. Fury is just as old by doing drugs and alcohol. This is what I'm saying. Good fight point, Denise. Wilder's a true professional. Fury is a nightmare to face. If I were rich, I'd pay Sugar Hill double to train him to be KO'd by Wild. You're terrible. Chris says, I'm not talking about trainers. I'm talking about elite mental game. Wilder may view Tyson as a disarray. Tyson is best when doubted. Travelers are very cunning. Listen, you can be as cunning as you want. That right hand cuts through all that bullshit. That right hand will cut through all that bullshit. All right? Sugar Hill, Ben Davison. Ben Davison couldn't save Tyson when he was on the canvas. Remember that. This is a different situation. This ain't Otto Wallin you're talking here. This is a guy. You see, boxing fans can get blinded by certain things. I told you about Luis Ortiz. I said, even through the commentary, I warned you before the fight. I said to you, he's losing weight. He looks good. I warned you. I said, when Wilder finds that chin, it's over. But he got up before, and Wilder finds that chin against Fury, it's over. You can put your money on it now. If Wilder finds that chin, it's over. I do think he should have kept Ben. Ben seems to have his best interests at heart above anything else. He should just bring in someone to help or bring other perspective. Let me tell you something. Consistency is the best thing you can have. Consistency is the best thing you can, as a trainer and a fighter relationship. Consistency is the best thing you can have. All Wilder has to do for this rematch is study where he went wrong and put it right. For Fury now, he got dropped twice. You can't fix your chin. You cannot fix your chin, right? You can't fix your chin. And Fury has never looked devastating in any fights. When has Tyson Fury ever looked devastating in these fights? Put the two guys together. You're looking at the most electrifying, most devastating puncher and fighter in world boxing today versus a guy that doesn't look great when he boxes. The truth there. When have you saying, I'm going to see a Tyson Fury fight, it's exciting. The only time Tyson Fury fights exciting is when the opponents come to try and drop his ass and the guys drop him and he goes down and he gets up. That's what makes Tyson Fury exciting. Klitschko was not an exciting fight. Otto Wallin brought drama because he cut him and he hurt him. But you can't say, and the Tom Schwartz fight, let's be honest, really? Are we judging the best heavyweight in the world by Otto Wallin? Is that the standards? I'm not. I just want to cut through all the BS, right? There were a lot of opportunities for Fury to counter Wilder in the first fight when Wilder was lunging, but he opted to go into full defensive mode when Wilder was on the attack. I wonder if a new trainer could get Fury to pick those moments better and make Wilder pay for those types of attacks. Though Wilder may have improved. Wilder has improved. Ben, maybe Tyson needs to get Paul Bearer from WWE to unleash the power of Jurgen. Yes. Chris says, I agree, Ben. There were plenty of opportunities to counter. I think he held back due to his conditioning. Yeah? Yeah? Okay. You think the conditioning is going to help him? Okay. You think that condition is going to help Fury for this fight in the rematch? Okay. Well, condition is what Ortiz had in the rematch. You forget. You cannot be better conditioned than Deontay Wilder. But there's no way that Tyson Fury can be better conditioned than Deontay Wilder because you have to add into the context of Fury abusing his body, drinking, abusing his body. You can't take that stuff away. That is in Fury. And that is part of the reason why Fury going up and down in weight and having a lack of discipline. That's the reason why Fury is struggling with got cut. Going up and down in weight, that ages a fighter. You can't get away from that stuff. I'm afraid to say you cannot get away from that stuff. And it comes back to haunt you as a fighter. G Poker says, hit the like button, people. Yeah, smash the like button, people. Come on. Tell me something I don't know to Wilder's right hand. Yeah, like I said, you can have all the game plans in the world and all the trainers in the world. You always remember, when you're fighting, the trainer's on the outside of the ring. The fighter's inside the ring. So Fury's chin is going to have to tell Wilder something different in the rematch. That's all I'm saying. Wilder's consistent second to none, a career professional, year in, year out. You never catch that man overweight. You never catch that man with a big bloated face watching in the arena. You never watch that stuff with Wilder. Consummate pro. All turn up in great shape. Always ready to fight. Just like Mayweather. Always in great shape. He can pick his own moments in the fights. He doesn't need a trainer for that. It was only his condition that held him back in the 12th. Not to mention the devastating 1-2. Okay. If Fury applied himself half as consistent as Wilder, we'd have some fighter. He doesn't. Copen09 says, glad to fight. You're finally off the Team Fury payroll and speaking the truth. Where does this joker come from? Copen09, where have you been, mate? And you clearly are on another universe or on your own agenda. Whichever it is, I'm not interested in getting involved with. Facts. Plus, Wilder is in shape year round. But Wilder probably will think I can hurt this guy. He can't kill me, but can pick at me with jab. So he might fight more aggressive in this fight. He might do. It was a big fight for both guys. I think Wilder can improve in the rematch. And I do want to mention something to people. You know, everyone's talking about this windmill rubbish. When's the last time you saw Wilder windmill? I'll tell you when the last time he windmilled. The last time he windmilled was Gerald Washington. I didn't see him windmill when he fought Stiverne. I didn't see him windmill when he fought Brazil. I didn't see him windmill when he fought Fury. And I certainly didn't see him windmill when he fought Ortiz. Mark Breland and Jay Diaz have to be given the utmost respect for how they've brought Wilder on. He's getting better with every fight. Wilder probably... There, yeah, I've got that. LOL, says Prince9. But if Fury can just sit down on some sharp counters, he might surprise Wilder. Would be a big gamble. Huge gamble. Huge gamble. For a guy who isn't noted as a one-punch knockout artist. Look, listen, if you're struggling to knock out guys... Okay, let me ask you a question. Straight up question, right here, yeah? If Fury had fought Otto Wallin, what would Wilder... No, if Wilder had fought Otto Wallin, what would Wilder have done with Otto Wallin? What would Wilder have done with Tom Schwartz? What would Wilder have done with Pianetta? And what would Wilder have done with Sefa Safiri? And let me ask you a question. Those guys are acceptable for Tyson Fury, but if Wilder knocked him out, you'd be calling Tyson a bum and saying he fought in tomato cans. Can you explain to me why? For Fury, it's acceptable to fight third tier opposition in Otto Wallin and what's his name, and Tom Schwartz, but it's unacceptable for him for Wilder to fight Ortiz and Brazil. Can you work that one out for me? Because to me, it sounds again of BS. But again, you probably ain't going to want to answer. You're probably not going to really answer that truthfully, because we know what the agendas are for some people that listen in on this. G Poker says, I'll be honest, Fury who fought Klitschko looked unbeatable, but this version of Fury, gaining weight, losing weight, seems to have caught up with him, and he looks a tiny bit shot in my opinion. That's what I'm telling you. Tyson's on the downside. You cannot... He's either... Tyson's in 2 points of his career now for me. He's either maintaining or he's on the slide. For me, when I see a fighter start getting cut like that, he's on the slide for me. Put them both to sleep in 1 or 2 rounds, says Retro. There you go. We're using triangle theories now. There's no damn triangle theories. Put Otto Wallin in the ring with Deontay Wilder. What happens? Based on Wilder's knockout ratio and what he's been doing. Are you telling me that Otto Wallin's a better boxer? Triangle theory, my ass. Are you telling me that Otto Wallin's a better boxer than Luis Ortiz? Is that what you're going to sit down and tell me now? Open your eyes and get off the flipping bandwagon. Look and know boxing. Otto Wallin is not a better boxer than Luis Ortiz. Never, not today, not tomorrow, and not ever. Get off that bandwagon, man. Not to do with triangle theories. If you put him in with the same opposition, Wilder, I'm just talking about being acceptable. Because if Wilder fights them, they're bums. If Fury fights them, the top rate and #1 contender and contenders. That's all I'm saying. There was a period in the Fury fight, mid-rounds I think, where he threw about 3 lunging right hands that all missed each one. I remember, let me remind you of something. I remember commentating that fight and I could see Fury slowing down and I could see the jab to the pit of the stomach causing Fury problems. I remember saying it in the commentary. Go back and listen to my commentary of Fury versus Wilder. Go back and re-listen to that commentary. And I was watching Wilder was getting closer and closer and closer to Fury. And Fury couldn't get away from him. I was closing the range down. And in the 12th round, walloped him. With that, and what people misinterpret in that fight is when Fury got up, Wilder had switched off. See how he knocked out Ortiz and he just walked away. In his mind, his mindset is, I've knocked you out, you're done. He wasn't expecting Fury to get up. So for the most part, when Fury got up and he came at Wilder, Fury was fighting for his life that point in time right there. For Wilder, he's like, what the hell is going on here? This guy's got off the canvas. I nailed him with a good shot there. I didn't think he'd get up and he's coming at me. You understand the psychology of that? So for the last minute of that fight, where Fury came back and looked great, Wilder was in complete shock. His whole body was in shock because it was like, I knocked guys out. That was his shock moment. Going into the rematch, he won't make that mistake. If he's got Fury in the canvas this time round, he'll know, all right, I know this guy's a tough son of a gun. He'll get up. But this time when he gets up, he's going to get a combo from hell. If he dares get up this time, hey, I ain't going to make the same mistake again. If he goes down this time, I'm putting his lights out. And now, you're not taking that into consideration, are you? Wilder's technical, hooks off the jab, controls Ortiz with a jab, pulls it, changes the speed of it, claws your chin down. It's very cunning and thought. It isn't reckless. There is skill there. Like I've said, broke Wilder down like that. Fury won. Our concern is Wilder's improved, and Fury's been practicing the 6-1 night with Mysterio for a year. No one said that. Fury's better than Ortiz. He boxed Wilder's head off till the KO. Fury do the same. What? Fury's better than Ortiz. He boxed Wilder head off till the KO. Fury will do the same. No. All right, we'll wait and see. That's another conversation, but I don't want to repeat myself. And half you, when I talk, don't listen to me anyway. And then when the guy gets splattered, then you come back and talk crap to me afterwards. So I'm tired of talking stuff, and then unless Wilder decides to come in out of shape or not decide to want to fight, or I think these two guys are going to come in tremendous shape, or Fury better come in tremendous shape. If he comes in heavier, that's going to be a problem. So we'll just wait and see what happens in a rematch. But for now, those are my thoughts on Ben Davison and Tyson Fury. I couldn't care less, to be honest, really. But I just want to do this video because there are people out there that want to hear what I think about it. And these are my thoughts on it. Good luck, Ben Davison, in future. I hope you find some fighters that will endorse your way of training, and we can see what you can do as a trainer. Ultimately, it'd be nice for you to train a guy from the amateurs into the pros. So I'd like to see Ben Davison take a guy from the amateurs into the pro game and win a title with him. That's what I'd like to see for Ben Davison. Fury refuses to fight Ortiz. Shake my head. Fury is not the better boxer. Uh, it says Fury's not the better boxer. Well, first up, Tyson said he wouldn't ever leave Peter or Mick, and he did so. So, listen, but I I picked this guy apart a long time ago. When I told you Tyson will say one thing one day and do something the next day, and so there really is no consistency with that. He is consistent at being inconsistent, which means to you that Tyson today could say this and tomorrow he could do that. He's going to Sugar Hill now, and Sugar Hill may want this, and Tyson may want that. I tell you something now, he better stick with Sugar Hill. He better stick with Sugar Hill. It better work with Sugar Hill, because could you imagine Sugar Hill and Tyson Fury not working out with a month to go in a fight? Ah, shit. It better work. Fury's better than Ortiz. Okay. Now Ben as well. Zero loyalty and a hypocrite. Well, it would seem that way. It would seem that way, Kenny. It would seem that way. Right. Fury's taken enough of my time. I will say this much, and I'm grateful. Thank you to Tyson Fury for the time that we spent together, Tyson. The talks we did, the interviews, the things you said about me. I really appreciate you. And deep down, you're a good dude that just wants the best for you and your family. And I'll tell you something here. There is something I will add. Remember when Tyson was getting all that shit when he was with after the Klitschko fight, and the British fans turned on him. The whole Spurs person, they turned on him. During that time, it can make a person bitter. He says, you know what? Screw trying to do things for the fans. I'm going to do things all about me. And I remember thinking to myself, Tyson Fury needs to get a good PR team to look after him. Look what Tyson's doing now. When I saw Tyson going around doing all them dinner shows, I said, you know what? My man's trying to get as much money as possible together in the bank. He needs to get as much money as possible. All that stuff with the UCAD and all that money, amount of money in court fees and stuff, he's trying to coop that back quick time. So, yeah. Good on the man. Good on for him. Good for him. Would you prefer Fury to win, Ingram? I prefer the best man to win. I prefer the best man to win, so at least we can say with complete certainty, if Wilder knocks Fury out, yes. If Fury knocks Wilder out, yes, definitive. And no Jack Reese protection program. I don't want Jack Reese refereeing this fight. Um, Winning results and nutrition says, I think Fury's biggest advantage for the first fight is the size and foot speed. It catches you off guard with all that flinching. Oh boy. Well, yeah. All right. The flinching, he got knocked down twice. He can flinch all he wants. Flinch all he wants. But the flinching didn't help his chin. And that's the problem. With all the skill that's around Fury, the vulnerability is his chin. And that chin got tapped then, and that chin's gonna get tapped again. Carry on. You all don't listen. I'm out of here. I'm gonna put some football on. Do you think that state that Otto Walling had Fury in was the final nail in the coffin for Ben and Fury? That's a good question. No, mate. No, I don't think it's a final. Uh, I don't believe that. I tell you what, I do believe. Once an opportunist, always an opportunist. If you're an opportunist, it's just opportunity, isn't it? So it's opportunity. Tyson had the opportunity to fight Wilder in an immediate rematch. He took the opportunity and he jumped to top rank. Opportunity. Um, Tyson had the opportunity to stay with Mick Hennessy. He jumped with Frank Warren. Opportunity. He had the opportunity to stay with Fury, Peter Fury. He went with Ben Davison. Opportunity. He's now left Ben Davison to go Sugar Hill. Opportunity. So that's why I look at it. Opportunity. Opportunity and opportunist. Don't knock anyone for doing that. He's got to look after his career and you've got to do best for him. At the end of the day, I can sit behind my screen or I can go out and train fighters and we can all talk and we can all have our opinion, which is subjective. But the one thing that's not subjective is Fury's chin and Wilder's punching power. And we know that when Wilder hits Fury on the chin clean, he goes over. We know that. There's no, I'm not so sure. We have video evidence of that. And we know in the 12th round, he made his eyes roll at the back of his head. And we also know that Jack Reese gave him a count that in other referees would have stopped the fight there and then. So that's all I'm saying about that. So as you see it, maybe 80-20 to Wilder. I think 80-20 now because of this whole Sugar Hill changing. That's gone that way now. I think before I saw the fight as 75-25% in Wilder's favour because I think Wilder can make more adjustments than Fury can. I don't think Fury can make that many adjustments now because of the consistency of Wilder, and he's looked more devastating as the fights have gone on. While Fury's looked more vulnerable. That's what I'm saying. But let's see. Fury's one of these guys. I believe that when the pressure's on him, he will fight better out of fear. But he knows it's the only man he's fought. He knows, and this will be the first rematch. No, second rematch. Yeah, as he fought Chisora. Never had that rematch against Klitschko. And I always wondered to myself whether he was, wonder if he did a smart thing to get out of that Klitschko contract. I wonder what was in that contract for him to fight Klitschko in a rematch. I wonder. And on the subject of Klitschko, I still believe he's coming back. Right, I'm out of here. I need to play some Football Manager tonight. Thank you all so much for watching as always. And I did my training. I did my advanced course on Sunday. It was great. And I look forward to letting you know yeah, the McDermott rematch as well. Yeah, McDermott was giving some real problems. Yeah, so I look forward to speaking to you all soon. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Of course, there are those out there that probably won't be happy with what I'm saying, but I've just been honest. My final thoughts on this whole Ben Davison situation with Tyson Fury. I wish them both the best. And yeah, that's it. Thank you so much. I'll see you all soon. For Football Manager supporters, we'll be right back on that as soon as in a moment. Speak to you soon. Thank you so much, Ben, and everyone else who's been supporting. Appreciate you. I've got to do a fighter of the year. There's a couple of guys there I'm looking at for fighter of the year. I've got to do my fighter of the year. We'll end of the year soon. I have to do an end of year special. See you soon.